This is my 1979 f-350 supercab that I've been putting together for almost a year now. It started with two trucks that I was going to swap together, and then when I got the one apart, the frame was crustier than I would like, so that made me look out for another frame, and it ended up being an f-350 supercab, and those were only made in 1979, so there's not very many of these frames. Kind of excited about that. When the truck right now is just down to the frame. I got just about every bracket hood back on here, and I tore into the axles this week, but I did remove a lot of the rivets and went with bolts to put everything back. This was sandblasted and coated in master coat paint. It's a primer and then a paint over top. I think it's actually designed for bridges. This is the cab I'll be using. This actually is a two-wheel drive cab. It came off a 76 f-350, but it was two-wheel drive and converting this one to four-wheel. The only real rust issues we have are right here. The bottom of this vent was just full of leaves and all rusted out. And then over here on the small part of the roof, we got a little bit of crust here that needs taken care of. But other than that, the cab is actually really nice. It needs cleaned inside, but everything is stripped out of it. For most part, the dash needs to come out still, and I need to cut the tunnel for the transmission. This was this week's project, was tearing down the front and rear axle to be sandblasted. The rear was pretty simple. The front took a lot more work. This axle came out of the Ohio-Michigan border, so it was crusty, but we got it apart. Gonna sandblast the parts and get them painted as well. I ordered all new parts this week for all the bearings and seals and the kingpin parts, the bottom plates. That's just the passenger side. But overall, it wasn't too bad. This is the first one I've torn into, so I had several hours into it and lots of YouTube videos to watch to see how it actually came apart. Working on this hub off the rear Dana 60. One of the axle bolts was broken when I bought it, so today's project is to try to get that broken bolt out. Now that I got that stud out, I'm going to try to get this axle seal and these bearings and races out. I don't have the right tool for this, but punch usually works. There's one. too. It wasn't too bad of a job. Now I'll just get these cleaned up a little bit so I can sandblast these. Got some metal shavings in there when I was drilling out that stud or that bolt. There's still some like metal shavings in there, so let's see if I can get them cleaned up. I might have nicked that a little bit when I was punching them race. Maybe that's old. Guess I better use a brass punch next time. Final step before I get these axle sandblasted, I'm going to tape off all the machined areas just to protect them from the sandblasting. I'm just using Gorilla Tape. Hopefully it holds up. Bring you guys in here a little closer to show you here. I'm just taped off all the machine surfaces. I'm going to trim this out, and then these red plugs, they're meant for plumbing, but they fit perfect in there. That's a 2-inch plug on that side, and it fit right in. And then for the rear, I got 1.5 inches, and it was slightly too big, so I took it to the bench grinder and just cleaned the inner plastic part up just enough so it would slip right in there. And it fit, and it fits tight, it's not falling out. I just want to protect from getting any of the blast media down in the tubes. Similar to the axle, I'm just going to tape off these surfaces so I can put them in the sandblasting cabinet. Okay.